What's going on, guys? My name is Brandon. I haven't completely lost my mind. This is a 33-year-old four-wheeler. It's been sitting for 13 years. We're going to see if we can get it running. Let's get going.
So over the course of the past decade, I have debated whether or not to sell this four-wheeler because it's just taking up space. I don't use it. My kids have outgrown it. They're no longer interested in it. But I just couldn't find it in my heart to part with it. And I'm sure glad I didn't, because now I have a young grandson and I am going to be restoring this for him. So he's still a little ways off, but I figure it'll give me a little bit of an opportunity. If I start now, I can get it done and get it looking real good.
I know it's a little rough, but I think we're going to make this look pretty decent. Let me tell you a little bit about it. So it's a 1986. I believe they only made these for 2 years, 86 and 87. It's a TRX 70. This one was manufactured in September of 85. And I bought it for my kids maybe, I don't know, 15 or 16 years ago. They used it for a while, but it has been sitting for the last, probably 12, 13 or so years. And when I parked it, it ran. So, and I will tell you one thing, this four-wheeler is bone stock. It's all original, everything. Nothing's been done to this. And it's got super, super low miles. Look at the, got a little, this is the only thing I've done to it, actually, I say that. These are all original tires. And when I bought this, the tires were pretty dry cracked. But I was just looking to get my kids into it for cheap. So I just picked up a tube and put a tube in it. But yeah, these tires, like I say, they're all original. Now, I was looking at this. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but you see these little, there's like a little dot on there. There's 3 little dots there. Well, even in places near the center of the tire, they still have those. And like I say, these are the original tires. So what I'm getting at is this machine has super low miles. It sat outside before, when I bought it from the person I bought it from, it sat outside for a long time and stuff was piled on it. It sat outside through the winter. So all this stuff busted off. This isn't from being crashed. This is from just leaving it laying around and setting stuff on it and limbs dropping on it. So it's got super low miles. This plastic is pretty expensive. It's like $500 for the kit. I'm not sure if I want to go that route or try to repair it. I've got a few repair things in mind that I'd like to do. Get a new seat cover on it. Get it running. When I got it, the tank was, these have metal tanks on them, and the tank was completely filled with rust. So I cleaned it out then. I'll probably have to clean it out again. They make a plastic tank. I want to keep this original, as original as I can, I think. So a couple of things I'm going to do right off. We're going to get it running for one, and it's super reliable. This motor here is super bulletproof on these four-wheelers. It's got a 4-speed transmission. It's pull start. Like I say, when I parked this, it was running. And it's a super tight machine. It runs really nice. No suspension. It's just solid suspension, but it's just a good machine. So anyways, back to what we're going to do, roughly, right off. Going to put all new tires on it. 4 new tires. Like I say, these are the originals, so I'm going to save them. The back ones aren't really too dry cracked. Matter of fact, they're holding air. I pumped them up. But for whatever reason, the back tires look okay, but I'm just going to get all new. And the front ones have some signs of dry cracking. And, you know, my plan is I'm doing this because I have a young grandson now. He'll be a year old in just a couple weeks. And my plan is to, I started riding when I was 2, dirt bikes. So my plan is to get him, if he's interested in it, into dirt bikes at right about 2, maybe a little bit younger, and get him into it, and him and I can ride together. So, but yeah, that's the plan. So new rubber. We'll redo this seat. I'm wondering if I can fill this in with something, but I don't know. New seat cover. I may do all new plastics. I don't know. Being the person that I am, I'm going to try to keep this in budget. Knowing me, I'll probably end up stripping it and powder coating everything. I don't know. So, but I'm really not 100% sure where the direction goes. But first thing we're going to do is take off all the plastic and inspect that tank, get the tank cleaned out because I want to get it running. And I want to do a compression test on it just to make sure we're all good, because it has been sitting. I don't know if it's all rusted up inside.
So as I've been doing a little bit of research on this, I'm finding that some parts are readily available and others are super hard to find. Some I can't find, and some are just downright wicked expensive. Now, the plastic on this four-wheeler, super expensive. There is an aftermarket company that makes it. But one of my big concerns is finding a seat foam. A cover I can find, but that foam has a gouge in it, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to find one or if I can fix it. So if any of you guys know how I could patch in that part of the seat, leave a comment. Or if you know where I can get some seat foam to cut to fit, if you could leave a comment, all that stuff would be super helpful.
So now what? So we're going to take the handlebars off. Yeah, I do. Alright.
I think what I might try to do before I consider replacing the plastics is do some plastic welding on it and then try to wet sand and polish the plastic. And if you haven't seen that done, I've tried it one other time and the results were incredible. I did it on the tractor and it came out awesome. I'll put a link to that up above.
Mark this with a piece of masking tape so I know that this goes to the right side lever. Yeah, just put RT on it. That way I know that that went to the right handbrake, because these don't have a foot brake on them. At least this year doesn't have a foot brake. It's got handbrakes for the front and rear. And yeah, the adjustments were like, it's full travel to go. So it doesn't really look like the brakes have even been adjusted. So now I just got to take this off, which that's the throttle. You can hear it's working good, so we'll see what kind of surprises that brings. I probably should have left these clamps down while I'm doing this, but live and learn. Well, not much to that, so put the screws back in it. And we should be able to take the plastic off. There. Now we got the bars off. I'll be curious to see what the inside of this tank looks like. I'm kind of torn because part of me says I want to get the plastic tank because you kind of set it and forget it. But with the plastic tank, the filler neck up top is bigger than the original tank. So what happens is you have to drill out your plastic, and again, like I said, part of me just wants to kind of keep this stock, but the other part of me just kind of wants it no muss, no fuss type thing. So when me and my grandson want to go out riding, we We just trailer them up and we go. And these motors are super reliable. We'll put all new, we'll end up putting all new hoses and, yeah, fuel lines and clamps and everything else on this. And I'll be surprised if I don't have to rebuild the carburetor. It'd be almost unheard of. Yeah. I'll show you how we solve that. That's how we do this right here. A little bit of fuel dripping out of it, which is kind of odd. I remember when I originally dug into this to do it the first time, I think I just stuck, looks like a vacuum hose on it and used a hose clamp, but we're going to do a little different this time around. Alright, so I think the tank's ready to come off. There it is. Precious little thing, isn't it? How little it is. Doesn't hold much. Then again, it doesn't really require much, right? Jeez, I think it's going to be in good shape. At least I don't see any signs that it's rusted through. Maybe we can save this, because I prefer to do it that way. Hear that? Just got a little crap in it, but I think we can. Resurrect it. Let me show you in the tank, because I'm not too concerned. So we got a little rust right there, and then try to look. A little bit of crap down at the bottom there. And it's pretty much the same thing over here. A little bit of crap down there at the bottom. And that, yeah, that's got some pretty decent rust down in there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to soak it in some vinegar. And maybe what I'll do is like toss in some 1/4-inch nuts or a bunch of BBs or something like that, and fill this tank right full of vinegar, and let the vinegar work on the rust, and then shake around the BBs or the nuts or whatever we decide to throw inside this, and let it work at that rust. I don't know. I don't know. I say that, I'll probably just buy a tank. Then I don't have to worry about it. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe I'll try to fix the tank and order a plastic one anyways. That way I'll have it. And maybe we can fix it and coat it. I don't know. But again, I'm all about riding, not about working. So, you know, I kind of want to do this right, and I want to do it once because it's worth something. If this wasn't, if this was just an old bone four-wheeler, it'd be a different story. But these are kind of collectible, and that motor's pretty bulletproof, and I know it runs really nice. So I kind of want to put the time into it. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, when my grandson and I go out and ride, I don't want him to have a bad experience. Because, you know, if your stuff breaks down when you're riding and you've been excited all week to do something, it kind of takes the steam out of your sails, the wind out of your sails, you know. It's kind of discouraging, so I don't want him to have a bad experience with this. So, yeah. I'll probably clean this tank up, and I'll probably buy a plastic gas tank too. Alright, let's check out the Airbox and see what that looks like. ready for a new one. That's junk. Look at that. It's just falling apart. Look at it. Watch, I just push on it. Yeah, she just deteriorated. Just to get an idea of how crappy this carburetor is, I'm gonna pull out this plug right here. See what it looks like inside. I'm sure it's probably all varnish. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at all that crap in there. Yeah, have to clean that carburetor out before I get too far into this. I think I've taken it as far as we're going to go for this one. And I think on the next episode, now that we got, at least we got it torn down, I think on the next episode we'll get the carb rebuilt, get it fired up. Take a look at this. I'll see if I can see inside the cylinder. See if we got any rust in there. I hope we don't. Yeah, still a little tiny guy. Alright, I really couldn't see anything inside the cylinder, so let's see at least if we got some spark. Is this spark? I can't even see. So we know it has spark. Let's try to pull it over.
At least it feels like it has compression.
Well, I was kind of hoping we could get it running in this episode, but rather than rush it, I'll be better off taking that carburetor apart, going through it, and making sure it's all good before I go ahead and try to start it. So if you guys have any experience with these, give me a comment down below where you think a good place would be to get parts. I'm looking for plastic is what I'd like to do. I'd like to get some really nice looking plastic for this. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you want to find out what I'm working on before it even makes it up to YouTube, you guys can catch me on Instagram and on Facebook. There'll be links down in the description. Thanks, guys. Have a good day. Stay safe, and I'll see you next week.